I'm Mark Weiss. Welcome to Wisdom Applied. I've been doing some thinking about the relationship between medical groups and their members, both owner physicians and employee subcontract physicians. In part, this was brought about by my work on my recent articles on the Carlisle case. If you haven't read any, you can take a look at the special March edition of the Advisory e-alert, which is available on the newsletter archive page on the Advisory Law Group webpage. The Carlisle case is an interesting study in the relationship between a group and a partner. In the case, a partner physician benefits from the sweetheart deal between his group and the hospital for a number of years. Then he turns around, leaves the group, files a False Claims Act whistleblower action, implicating his former partners in violations of Stark and the federal anti-kickback statute. Now, with partners like that, who needs enemies? Two other incidents provided fodder for my thinking about the tension between groups and their members. The first involves a group that has a number of subcontract physicians. One in particular has received a significant, we're talking about mid-five-figure, monthly fixed compensation for the past number of years. Now, the other subcontractors to the group are paid purely on a production basis, none of them earning anywhere near what the physician who's receiving the fixed sum has been earning. Now, running a medical group is a bit like managing a baseball team in that you simply can't pay everyone the same amount. Stars have to be paid according to their star status or they'll move on. If you paid the lesser performing members of the group the same amount that you pay the star, there'll be no incentive for those lesser members to improve. But on the other hand, that begs the question of what makes someone a star. Now, the physician who's been receiving the high fixed amount monthly from this group I'm talking about isn't really a star. Now, she's not a star because although she has a high degree of medical expertise is simply the ticket for admission. That's got to be understood as being the case with each member of the group, both the stars and the journeyman performer. What distinguishes a star is the fact that that person not only has that high degree of medical competency, but also has the understanding that while their self-interest is being played to in terms of compensation, they understand that they have to channel their own self-interest in a manner that also advances the group's self-interest. And so what we're talking about is having a high degree of understanding of the relationship between the group and its patients. Having the understanding that the relationship that the physician has with referring physicians has to be such that those referring physicians keep referring to the group. The star physician has to understand that they can't do anything to disrupt, in the case of a hospital-based group, the relationship between the group and administration. Now, the supposed star in this example has been pushing for partnership status in the group for some period of time. But at the same time, she's been engaged in some activity which indicates that she's not really a star. She's been attempting to get the hospital administrator to put pressure on this group to make her a partner, which has caused some disruption in the relationship between the administration and group leadership. And she's also admitted, because she was caught, rifling through the briefcase of one of the group members that was left for a moment unattended in a physician dining room. Well, the other incident involves a question asked of me in an educational setting. I was asked whether a group could allow one of its partners to opt out uh, of participation in a new managed care agreement. I asked what the payer thought about this, and I was told that the payer didn't care, that the group's other partners and employed physicians would be on the provider list of this contract, but that this one partner wouldn't. Well, I responded that the real question isn't a question about managed care contracting. The real question is whether a partnership should allow one partner to slowly take the partnership apart. Now, what kind of a partnership do you have if a partner can decide whether or not he or she wants to participate in a managed care agreement? By allowing the partner to have that option, what's next? The partner wants to have every Tuesday off. I'm not sure, but it seems to me as if this is a recipe for the destruction of a group, certainly not one for its long-term success. So what are the takeaway lessons here? The first is that groups must align their members' interests with the group's interest by playing to the members' self-interest. The second is that only those members should be retained who understand that even though their self-interest is being played to, that self-interest has to be subsumed within the scope of the group's greater group interest. If not, those members don't deserve to be kept. They certainly don't deserve to be advanced to partner status. In tough economic times, as we're in now, groups need to do two things. First, they need to cut dead weight, and that includes members, both partners and subcontractor employees alike, who are solely focused on themselves. The second thing they need to do is to take advantage of the opportunities that other groups are too fearful of taking. But groups will never be able to be in that competitive position if they're held back by the group's own decay, brought about by the failure to understand that compensation and the relationship among the group and its members is what makes the group a group.